Nobody believed that we would collect the bread and actually use it to brew beer. Everyone thought that, I don't know, I wanted to take bread for free, or that, it was just a prank. The beer market is growing super quickly. It's valued at almost 1.2 billion US dollars in Hong Kong alone. So our little city consumes over 30 plus billion liters of beer, which is a lot. We started with a white bread pale ale, which is the most simple pale ale product on the market. After we launched that, I thought, okay, how can we make this more exciting? How can we make flavors that anybody in Hong Kong will want to try? So the first thing that I did is ask myself what my favorite bread is in Hong Kong. The answer was simple. It was pineapple buns, bolo baos. So we thought, okay, let's collect pineapple buns and then use that to brew a beer. And that beer was instantly a huge success with the Hong Kong market. People in Hong Kong are very supportive of local Hong Kong businesses. So more often than not, they try to support these smaller homegrown pop-up businesses than your big behemoths like Asahi and Heineken. We try to mimic some of those flavor profiles in our beers. So for example, Guinness is another very popular beer. It's a dark beer. So we launched our egg waffle stout, which is also a dark beer. Our biggest partnership to date, and honestly I'm biased, but my most favorite one is our collaboration with Maxim's. So we have co-created 2 beers, hopefully, fingers crossed, launching another beer very soon, that are available in all of their Asian and Western restaurants around the city. That collaboration is called Bottle of Bread, or BOB. And it has 2 flavors, a Bob Pale Ale and a BOB Coffee Stout, made with coffee grounds collected from their cafes. My name is Anushka Purohit. As you can tell, I'm ethnically Indian, but I grew up here in Hong Kong. I am the CEO of Breer, which is the company that I started in university. So I literally took the word bread and took the word beer and I mashed it together and it became Breer. Whenever people will hear it, they will wonder why there's an extra R there, and that creates for new conversations. So you can explain to them, oh, it's actually beer made from bread, and then it piques their interest, and then that hopefully snowballs into a purchase or at least a trial. I actually don't drink beer at all. It's not my favorite beverage, and every time I tell people that, they get even more shocked. Getting into this beer business for me was never really about the beer. It was always about the environmental impact. It was the fact that we were collecting otherwise wasted resources and using it to make a new product, which just happened to be beer. At first, everyone thought it was pretty funny because when I was in university, entrepreneurship wasn't that big of a thing. Even though to my face, I think people were very supportive, like, yeah, you do it, all the best. I think behind, they didn't really believe that it would become something as big as it is today. Hong Kong's food waste problem is actually massive. On a daily basis, our city wastes 3,600 tons of food. And of the 3,600 tons of food, almost 47%, or roughly half, is just leftover bread. And when I heard the statistic, I was like, how is it possible? Why do we have so much bread being wasted? And that's when I realized, of course, in the mornings for breakfast, everybody goes to the bakeries and buys bread, but on your way back home from work or from a long day, you're not thinking about bread for dinner anymore. All that bread that was baked in the morning, unfortunately, goes to waste. And so that big problem has become so big that Hong Kong has 3 landfills, and the Hong Kong government expects that by the end of this year, all those 3 landfills will be completely exhausted of space. That's how integral it is for us to make a difference now. When you bring something to Hong Kong, you have the access of this 7 million population, within which you have people from so many different cultures. So it's kind of the perfect place to start validating your idea. In 2023, we made 1.8 million Hong Kong dollars in revenue, of which 1.2 million was profits. We have a very low asset model, so we don't have our own brewery. We work with the existing breweries, so that saves us a lot of what would otherwise be fixed costs and rental. We also have a very large volunteer network, so we have over 4,000 active Breer runners who will go to these bakeries, help us collect the bread, and then drop it off at the different breweries that we work with. So that way we can minimize on the cost of even logistics and transportation. When we collect bread free of cost, we are actually saving 78% of the cost of production as well. We invested $0 in Breer initially because for us, the whole model was we don't want to put any of our money in because as students, we didn't have savings of our own and it didn't feel fair to take the hard-earned money of our parents. Our approach was, let's pitch this idea to competitions. Through this model, we've actually made over 6 million Hong Kong dollars in just competition money. From HKSTP, we've actually received a lot of money, thankfully. We did the ideation, which gives you 100,000 Hong Kong dollars. Then you do incubation, that gives you different amounts of money for the different milestones that you set, but you get an $800,000 rent subsidy. We also won the City INT Grand Challenge, which is organized by HKSTP. So that also gave us close to $950,000. HKSTP also gave us a great launch pad to actually test the ideas that we have. They've given us access to mentors. So if we have any business or legal questions, we can actually go to professionals who can answer us. For the young women entrepreneurs, firstly, I would say that it's so crucial that you take a stance and enter industries that are otherwise underrepresented. I didn't realize how important representation was for people to just feel that boost of confidence. So all my fellow young entrepreneurs who are female, please, you must give it a shot. Use your passion and your purpose to make an impact. For many people in Hong Kong, drinking alcohol has just never been an option. It could be allergies, it could be religious beliefs. I thought it's only fair that we also launch a non-alcoholic beer. So of course, it's also going to be brewed with bread. There are very few non-alcoholic craft beer options in Hong Kong now. I definitely think it's a huge market and a completely new blue ocean for us to tap. I would have never imagined having more than 6 different beers that we can call a part of our core range, and then working with larger groups like Swire Properties or Mercedes-Benz, and very soon Pizza Hut. Our goal really is to show everybody that sustainability is never about sacrifice. You can simply continue doing what you love, for example, drinking beer, but doing that with an option that's more sustainable. My goal definitely is to 1, strengthen our footing in Hong Kong, but then 2, also achieve global dominance, beginning with Singapore and the US.